Hi, welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt, and this is the best self-driving vehicle I've ever been in. This is the 2022 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, and it's GM's pinnacle of what a pickup can be. It's $80,000 worth of black chrome, excellent interior bits, a diesel engine, and one very handy feature. And that feature, of course, is Super Cruise. This Sierra Denali Ultimate is the only thing in GMC's lineup to get it as standard. You can get it in other trims and other vehicles from GM, but you have to have your wallet ready. Super Cruise is GM's autopilot system, and it's thousands of dollars to add on, so it must be pretty good. And it is. Super Cruise is the best autonomous system we've tested here on Downshift. It's more than radar cruise and lane keep assist. It'll do more than change lanes for you with the flick of a blinker, but it will actually overtake slower cars on the highway for you. And I mean, that's cool! And what it does is it allows for you to relax to a reasonable degree. Shouldn't have to say this, but make sure you pay attention behind the wheel. But with Super Cruise Active, you can get settled in for a nice long highway stint with your diesel engine returning close to 26 mpg, your heated and/or cooled seat keeping you comfy, and a myriad of massage settings to keep you at max relax. But as there are other drivers on the road and the mouth of your driveway probably isn't on an off-ramp, you're eventually going to need to take control of the vehicle. Which is probably good, because behind the wheel, the Sierra isn't too shabby. It doesn't have the lightweight aluminum body that the F-150 would have, or the sophisticated rear-end suspension that you would get from a Ram or a Tundra. However, you do get the adaptive ride control, adaptive suspension here, and the ride is pretty good. Transmission's pretty good, and the steering, it's pretty effortless, but it's also pretty accurate. And this thing will hold on. There is one problem though. The brakes seem a little weak. Maybe it's the heavy steel construction of this Sierra, or the added weight of the extra luxe features. But more than once this week, I've found myself having to increase brake pressure at a rate I wasn't totally expecting. And if we're really gonna split hairs here, I'm more of a V8 man than a diesel man, but this 3-liter turbocharged inline-6 Duramax diesel is good for 277 horsepower and the same 460 pound-feet as the V8. But more importantly than that, you get 24 mpg combined. On the road then, the ride is pretty good. The cabin isolation is good. The cabin features make it easy to soak up mile after mile. The optional diesel is utilitarian and economical. And with Super Cruise as standard, it allows you to appreciate the finer things in life, like seeing how many people are picking their nose on the highway. So with that, let's step outside and talk some finer details. Okay, so I've never spent a full week with a Sierra, and I've left this week with this truck feeling like I'm much more impressed than I thought I was going to be. And maybe that's a wrong feeling to have, because this is an $80,000 luxury truck. It's the top of the top from internal combustion trucks in GM's umbrella. The only thing that tops it now is, of course, the Hummer EV, which is well over 6 figures, and now the Sierra Denali EV. So this isn't bad, and it looks pretty good too. This Sierra Denali Ultimate gets a pretty significant mid-cycle overhaul for 2022 here. And you know what? It looks the business. And you know why? Because they swapped out the conventional Denali chrome treatment for the millennial black chrome kit. Or should I call it what it is? Vader chrome. And it's important because the Vader chrome is specific to the Ultimate trim. The grille is also unique to the Ultimate trim and looks much better than it did before. Same thing with the headlights, and there's subtle little Easter eggs within them. However, there are some familiar chrome treatments for you Denali purists, like the wing mirrors and the recovery hooks in the lower fascia. And speaking of the lower fascia, that's unique as well, and offers a hint as to which engine you've spec'd. This open vented front signifies that we have the diesel. If you got the V8, that would be closed. And then around the side you get an Ultimate badge, which has a topographical map inlay, which is a pattern you may notice later in the video. And then you have, and I'm not kidding, Ultimate exclusive 22-inch wheels. And weirdly, the 22-inch wheels don't even look that big. They actually suit it very well. Then you have deployable running boards, which have a surprising amount of wiggle. And then I should mention the chrome Denali badge in the window treatments, but the chrome never seems overdone here. We've also got the crew cab configuration with the 5.5-foot bed. And finally, around back is surprisingly complex, with a unique bumper that has smaller steps due to the added devices for the Super Cruise hidden in the bumper. And then you have dual exhaust, a trailer hitch that's good for 13,000 pounds, and the 6-way multi-pro tailgate, which has kicker speakers and remote controls within the tailgate. But it doesn't stop there. This multi-pro tailgate is actually super cool and very usable, and I just love the fact that you have the speakers built in. They're not great, they don't make a whole lot of sound, there's not a whole lot of depth to it, but name another truck that has speakers in the tailgate. And then of course, on the payload, or in the bed here, you have GM's Carbon Pro, because everything is Pro, Carbon Pro bed liner, which adds extra space that's cut out over the wheel wells. And of course you've got tie downs and you've got little spaces up there if you want to bring dirt bikes or anything like that. I will say, with this diesel equipped truck, your payload drops to 1,830 pounds, whereas you'll get a little bit more in the V8. However, outside from that, it's a pretty normal pickup, at least on the outside. Let's check out what's going on inside. The interior though is full of punch, and you really start to see where your money is going to work for you. As opposed to the Ram Limited we were just in, this is a more conventional luxury interior, with rich blacks and browns for your leathers. The seats are an excellent fit, color, and the stitching is amazing, along with being heated and cooled and offering massage. I still like that GMs give you the option to heat just your back, but it doesn't stop there. Remember the topographical map I told you about in the exterior badging? Well, that theme continues in the seats, and the door cards, and the badges within the door cards, and the dash, and yes, that is real wood, and the center console cubby, which infuriatingly isn't the wireless charging pad that's underneath, and the map pockets on the back of the front seats, and the rear seats themselves. And the embossed leather isn't the only luxe touch. There's real wood on the dash and in the door cards. The speaker covers are nice and aluminum and sound good on top of that. And there's a nice suede headliner. But details are just distractions if not backed up with real comforts and features. You get a huge 15-inch head-up display, you get a 12-inch completely digital cluster, and you get a new 13.4-inch massive infotainment system, which is pretty good. And you get like 14 different camera views, but weirdly they don't take up the full screen. And of course you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but this also has Google built in for more natural native and spoken interaction. So there's clearly all the features you could want, but it's also laid out in a practical way with loads of storage everywhere. But there are 3 things that I think are a little weird. Again, we talk about the wireless charger being under the center console rather than being about where you put your arm. And then there's a button on the dash that lowers all of the windows, but it won't bring them back up. And finally, no pano roof, but at least it has a sunroof, unlike the Ram Limited we tested the other week. And finally, there's the rear seats, and there are some treats there too. First of all, they're huge as you'd expect, and comfy as well, but they're also heated. There are climate vents, but no dedicated controls. Various USB chargers back there, but no larger house outlet. You can also fold the rear seats up for additional storage as well, as you can with most trucks. But you do get secret hidden compartments in the seat backs, which is still awesome. So the cabin has all the space, all the comfort, and all the goodies you could want, and it wraps them in some really nice materials, aside from this gloss black bit in the middle. But I think that's probably a good time to get into the final thoughts. So, the Sierra Denali Ultimate. Me personally, I don't tow or drive long distances often, so I'd fork up the extra money for the Denali EV. However, as it sits, the Sierra Denali Ultimate is an excellent luxury pickup with essentially everything you could ask for, and possibly the best hands-free driving suite on the planet currently. Is it perfect? No, of course not. It's still got leaf springs and a bunch of gloss black in the center console, but in spite of that, I was sincerely impressed with the overall professional grade feeling from this truck. Thanks GMC for letting us have a go, and we look forward to seeing what the EV version comes together as. See you in the next one.